Hello everyone. Today we're going to be talking about forms of linear equations. And our goal today is to be able to express linear equations in slope-intercept form, point-slope form, and standard form, as well as being able to convert between these forms. So we're going to bring in the different types of forms that we have. We have slope-intercept form, which is represented by y equals mx plus b. It's one of my favorite forms. It tells you slope right away and y-intercept right away. The next form is point slope form. It is y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1 end parentheses. Point slope form is generally used for your in-between form. Generally when you're converting either to slope-intercept form or standard form. It is very useful when you're given an ordered pair and you have your slope. Standard form has a little bit of rules, but first off, let's identify it. Standard form is represented in the way of ax plus by equals c. A and B are coefficients of the variables x and y. And coefficients just mean the number in front of the variable. But A has a very special rule with it. A can never be negative, so A has to be positive. So now our goal is to be able to convert between these forms. So if we look at our notes here, we're going to be converting to slope-intercept form for our next examples. But for our first one, we're starting from point-slope form. And they gave us the equation y minus 4 equals 2 times the quantity of x plus 7. And our goal is to be able to convert it to slope-intercept form. So the first step that we need to do is distribute. And the reason why we distribute first is because if you look at it, right now you don't quite know what to do with it. So we're going to distribute 2 inside our parentheses. So 2 times x and 2 times 7. When you do the distributive property, you are multiplying inside the parentheses. So we're going to have y minus 4, bring everything that we have not used before, and now we're going to distribute. And we'll have 2x plus 14. This is the point when you can see that when we're converting the point slope form, that we're actually solving for y, and it makes more sense. Our final step in the process is to add 4 to both sides. Because our goal is to zero out the negative 4 on the left side. So we're going to add 4, and we are left with y equals 2x plus 18. And that is how we went from point slope form to slope intercept form. 2 beautiful steps. But now let's go from standard form to slope intercept form. This one looks a little bit more tricky. But again, the process that we're going for is to solve for y. That's what makes slope intercept form so beautiful. So I'm going to rewrite it so I have room to show work. So since we're solving for y, our very first step is to actually add x to both sides. You're able to move variables just like numbers, and you'll combine them with variable terms that are similar. In this case, we do not have extra variable terms. If you notice, on the right side, it looks like I have negative 8 plus x. But remember, you do not combine the two. So we're going to be left with 2y equals x minus 8. So we're now solving for y still. We want to get y by itself. Well, I see that it has a coefficient of 2. This means we need to divide everything by 2. So we're going to do this step. It simplifies on our y, because 2 divided by 2 is 1, which gives us y. X over 2 is also the same as 1/2 x, or you are able to leave it as x over 2. Both are acceptable. And then negative 8 divided by 2 is just negative 4. And here we have it in slope-intercept form. So when you're converting to slope-intercept form, the main process is to solve for y. Trust the algebra, because sometimes it doesn't look nice, but trust the process of order of operations and it can get you there. Now we're going to go to standard form. And again, standard form is a little trickier. Our goal here is to move our x and y variable to the left side. So we're going to be starting from point slope form. And again, that is the form where it is generally our in-between when we're converting to either standard form or slope-intercept form. It is, again, a very useful form. So I'm going to rewrite this. Y plus 8 equals negative 3 times the quantity of x minus 5. And again, right now it looks crazy because we're going to standard form, but we are going to trust the algebra and we're going to distribute. So we're going to distribute negative 3 into both x and negative 5. So we're going to be left with y plus 8 equals negative 3x plus 15. And again, our goal is to get x and y on the left side. So my first thing I'm going to do is add 3x to both sides. So when I do that, it will zero out on the right side. And we're going to be left with 3x plus y plus 8 equals 15. So now we have x and y on the left side, but it has a friend, positive 8. We don't want any constants with our variable terms, so we need to subtract 8 on both sides. And when we do that, we are left with 3x plus y equals 7. And there we have it in standard form. We double check to make sure our variable term x is positive, which it is in this case, and it looks good. And another thing to point out in mathematics is that when you're working with variable terms, when they're written, they generally go in alphabetical order. So that is why x is in front of y instead of y plus 3x. So that one was nice. Point slope form again is very beautiful. But now let's go from slope-intercept form to standard form. So we're going to rewrite our equation, which is y equals 1/3 x minus 2. So our goal is to move our variable terms x and y to the left side. So our first step will be to subtract 1/3 x on both sides. So when we do that, we wind up with negative 1/3 x plus y equals negative 2. So it looks like it's in standard form. I have my x and y variable terms on the left side and my constant on the right. But we have an issue. Our coefficient in front of x is negative. So we need to turn that positive. You can do that of one of two ways. You can either multiply or divide everything by negative 1. Since they both have the same outcome, that is why it is okay to multiply or divide. In my case, I prefer to divide things by negative 1. It just looks nicer when we're doing the math. So we're going to be left with 1/3 x minus y equals 2. And that is the process of going from slope-intercept form to standard form. Trust the algebra, and remember, what are you solving for? What are you looking for? Once you have that, you will be very successful in this.